Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. Recently we covered a story where T.I. wanted a hymen test performed on his daughter. Well, right now New York lawmakers are wanting to stop all of that. They have introduced a bill to ban virginity testing following T.I.'s interview. And to take it even further, not only did they introduce this bill, but they want any medical staff or practitioner who even performs or supervises this examination, they want them to be charged with professional misconduct, to get penalties and possible criminal charges. So these people ain't playing. They're like, if you even so much as perform this or supervise this, you could be subject to criminal charges. So I'm trying to figure out what crime is being committed there. They want to make it a crime. I want you all to understand how dangerous something like this can be. First of all, I want to address the fact that a lot of people did not agree with T.I.'s stance on this. And this is because in Western culture, everybody is so free with their sexuality, thinking that they can do anything they want to do without consequences with whomever they want to do it with, that the minute you try to introduce any type of structure, then you are called the villain. Now, I saw all of the comments about how he allows his sons to do certain things. I agree with those comments that you should hold your sons to the same standards that you hold your daughters. I agree with that 100%. But in reference to his daughter, I didn't see anything wrong with that. I think his mistake was because he don't have the same standards that he has for his sons, for his daughters. This is why a lot of people were upset at him. Some were simply upset from him doing it, period, whether he had the same standards across the board or not. Now, my thing is this, because I know how many other cultures are, they don't have the same problems that we do, although they are starting to, because they are adopting more and more of Western culture. I see that it is a good thing for parents to be very involved with things or matters such as this. Now, the thing that I don't like about the Black community that I find very disturbing, in the wake of all of this, once it all just exploded on the internet, you had Black women literally accusing this man, accusing T.I. of incest. They said that this is borderline incest. It's like, do you understand the definition of incest? Do you understand what that is? And this man is trying to make sure that his daughter's virginity is still intact. So how does that work? How does that work? He's trying to make sure that it's still intact and that she still has her virginity. Now, many of us did not grow up in a household with a father. And some did have a father in the household, but it may have been a father who didn't care all of that much to where you were able to do whatever you wanted to do, go and come as you please. But when there's a household where they're trying to introduce some type of structure, especially for the young women, let's just get T.I. off the table because his record is so tarnished with his wife and with his son, ain't nobody really trying to hear what he got to say about his daughter's hymen. So it's like he messed that up right there. But let's just get him off the table and put another father, a father who is there for his family, his wife, his children, taking care of them, loving them, faithful, all of this. Do you all feel the same way about a father such as that, who wants to make sure that his daughter is a virgin? Like I said, T.I. off the table, let's put this father on the table. Does he not have a right to make sure Now, I know there's other ways to make sure, and one of those being, don't let them go all off anywhere, being all in the streets any time of night, going to this person's house, not really truly knowing where they are. Because one thing I noticed that they push a lot on television and in the movie industry, where a child will say, "Oh, Mom, Dad, I'm going to so-and-so's house." And the mom or dad in the distance will say, "Okay, honey, okay." And the parents just believe that. They don't know if it's true or not, have no idea where the children are, just going on their word. There was no such thing back in the day. If you were going to somebody's house, that mother or that father was calling the parents of that child to ensure that that's where you were going and to ensure that that's where you were going to be. But right now, you even have adults covering for kids who want to be up to mischief. I've even seen adults, back when we lived in Detroit, I would see adults who would buy wine and liquor or cigarettes or whatever for kids who weren't old enough to buy it. So they would get it and give it to them. Adults actually helping the young people to be juvenile delinquents. Helping them to be wayward. Teaching them how to use drugs. Teaching them how to sell drugs. That's what I find so hypocritical about our people. We don't understand how to rightly divide things. That's why I said, let's get T.I. off the table. And many times, when you think about it, a young woman who wouldn't want that particular procedure done on her, she's basically saying, you just might find something that you don't want to find, Papa, because I'm out here like that. So, of course, they don't want that. They feel like it's an invasion of their privacy until they get a disease or a baby. Then they're coming to you crying, "Mommy, Daddy, I'm pregnant," or "I got some strange burning sensation. I need you to take me to the hospital." All of these kind of things happen because our young people want their privacy and they don't want instruction. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Our communities aren't messed up like this for nothing. And as long as we continue to turn a deaf ear and a blind eye to the nonsense, it's only going to get worse, family. Now back to the lawmakers here. This is their way of saying we can criminalize whatever we want to criminalize. This is why our very existence is being criminalized, because we sit back and even the minutiae of things, we bicker over those things, and we don't even realize that the plug is being pulled out from under our existence. Walking while black, talking while black, sleeping while black, drinking while black, eating while black, living while black is a crime. And all of the stuff that we push and promote and say, hey, leave this alone. Let the young people be young people. Let them do their thing. Oh, they're doing their thing, all right. They're doing their thing. This is why our communities are going from bad to worse, because young people are growing up doing their thing. Nobody wants to ruffle any feathers or get in the way. Let them have their fun. Let them do their thing. But another thing about these lawmakers, this is their way of saying, no, we are going to control the narrative of how your family functions, not you. So with something this simple, family, you take this lying down, before you know it, they will make it illegal for parents to say anything against their children's sexuality. This father is trying to protect this daughter's sexuality, but they will begin to make it illegal for you to even speak out against it. If your daughter wants to do this, that, and the other, it's not your right to stop her from doing this, that, or the other. As a matter of fact, they are already on the verge of doing this. Look at the sex education system. Many schools around this country are now trying to make it mandatory that your children sit up in sex education class and learn all types of wicked, dirty, filthy things. I remember when we had sex education back in junior high. But let me show you the perspective that they taught it from. They were showing you the diseases that you get from being promiscuous, from having all of these sexual partners and doing all kinds of weird, crazy things, getting tied up in drugs and then end up in some strange bed. They were showing you the outcome of all of this stuff. They were showing you the bad side of it. But right now they're saying, let's show children alternative ways to please themselves. And that it's okay to touch each other and to touch themselves and to do all these kinds of things. This is what they are teaching in schools now. Because parents sat idly by and just allowed these things to happen. You sit back and you boast about how this country runs things, but now this country is doing so many things, so many diabolical things that parents don't know what the heck to do now. They're telling you, nope, you can't pull them out of class. We're going to sit here and teach your children how to be sexual deviants, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, anyway, that is my take on this story dealing with T.I. Like I said, I understand everyone's concern about how he has a double standard for his sons than he does for his daughters, and how he was towards his wife. No one is endorsing those things. But I didn't see any problem with him wanting to make sure his daughter was still a virgin. But I think he should have took it a step further. Instead of allowing her to just go to a party where you think something like that would happen, that is where you draw the line right there. Draw it right there. If you know it's going to be a bunch of wild stuff happening at some party, possibly drugs and alcohol, drinking, and young people bedding down with each other, if you think all of that's going on, why even let her go? That's where I think he should have started. Don't start after the party and say, well, let's go see if you were a good girl. Now, that don't make any sense to me. But again, that's just my 2 cents. We have all types of strange parenting happening now to where parents want their little boys to wear nail polish and girls' clothes and let their girls wear boys' clothes and all kinds of things and dare you to say something about it. That's the kind of world we live in, family. And with that, I will say, shalom. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.